Welcome to another episode of Downtime in the Hangar, where we talk about all things GBO2 and definitely never tangent.
I only heard like a little bit of that.
And if you accuse us of tangenting,
No, the disturbing thing is I have to get closer so I can hear you.
An attempt was made. Happy almost Halloween, everybody, as of this recording. As we begin Downtime in the Hangar after quite a long hiatus, actually.
Real talk, though. So, what have you guys been up to?
Take it off, I beg you.
Okay, I will. But yeah. Oh, yeah. Joined by Gustav the 13th and GamingEmblem.
Hi.
But yeah, what have you guys been up to while I take this off?
I heard that part at least.
Yeah, right.
So, honestly, not much. Just trying to get through some other games. Actually got, was it Lost Judgment the other day? We're doing a modded run of Cyberpunk right now.
Ooh.
And other than that, just trying to keep up with GBO2. Haven't really done too much Gun Evo since it dropped, but it's been alright. What about you guys?
I think I'm tired. I can't keep my eyes open.
Well, no, he's sleeping.
Yeah, but honestly, it's been pretty wild. Been busy this month. You guys already know, but had a little stuff that we had to do. My grandmother passed away, and we had a service and stuff like that for her. Then we just got really busy at work. We're down pretty much like 3 people, which got us to half of our normal staff. And we've just been getting really busy. It's like got back from a 3-day weekend and a lot of other stuff. So just like on that. And then we were just busy for the last couple of weeks. And then to top it all off, yesterday morning, there was a fire at a couple of the restaurants across the street from where I live. And it knocked out power for like most of the downtown area throughout like all of yesterday. But so I had a little bit of a little mixed bag of stuff going on. October, like I said, has been crazy.
It's quite the roller coaster indeed. I guess.
Yeah.
What have you been doing for games?
I really haven't been doing too much. Like I splashed in some GBO2 and whatnot when I could, but most of the time I was either working late or coming home and going to bed or something. I did do the video for the Stein review, similar to what Aoshi and the rest of them did. Aoshi, Vion, Grey Wolf, Rob. The rest of them did one as well.
But also, I did want to ask too, Gustav, have you run into any bugs in Cyberpunk?
So far only one, and it was just with the mission trying to get some cyberware. The cyberware turned into like a chemical round for some reason. So I'm over here looking for it to actually put it in a Dropbox, and it's like, this is the only thing we have. And I dropped it, and it's like, that is correct. I'm like, it shouldn't be, but okay. Other than that, mostly just the usual open world shit, like people getting stuck on stuff, cars flipping out sometimes, things like that. But like, I expect that kind of stuff. Bigger overlying stuff, not really. And that's sort of being modded too, so that's pretty surprising. So far, so good.
Did you get a Magnum dong on your Lady V?
No, but I did have to deal with poor Jesse and his Magnum dong being on fire.
The other thing too, I right after the anime came out. By the way, if you guys haven't seen that, go watch it. Everybody, go watch it. So far, it's my anime of the year. Just saying. But yeah, I also decided to try to play Cyberpunk again.
Oh dear.
The anime making people dust off their
I was
Cyberpunk
like
copies.
I was like, okay, let's hit this download button, and then I got back in, and I'm like, well, the soundtrack's playing, and that was the best part, is realizing the soundtrack was on the streamer friendly side of things. So I was just like pumping that for like a week straight after I realized. And then apparently some things did get muted on Twitch, but not sure which.
Yeah, there's a filter, or not a filter, but a setting for that,
Wait,
apparently. So
yeah, I turned it on and it was like so that it would only be streamer friendly music, and I just had those songs playing, but oops. But yeah, anime is good. Have either of you seen it?
I
yeah,
have not.
What do you think, Gustav?
it was pretty good. They've already kind of confirmed that there's not going to be like a follow up to that. Although it'd be nice if they just did like a different story as opposed to trying to expand on that one. Like that felt like it was just kind of one and done. So
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that they're doing a different take from like as far as like game story kind of thing. Like you can, there's a lot they could do with that. So if they have they confirmed that they're doing more with it though. I thought I heard something that they were actually going to do more in the future, not necessarily like the season 2.
yeah, I mean
but,
that's pretty much what that confirmation was for too.
okay,
I
yeah.
think it's just the idea that like no, it's not going to be like a 2 or a sequel. It's just going to be something different. But yeah, it'd be kind of crazy if they just kind of did that and then just like walked off from it. But it's possible, considering that CD Projekt Red has their own other projects going on and stuff too.
But yeah, is that pretty much mostly what you were up to game-wise, Emblem?
Yeah, I really didn't have a ton of stuff going on. Just work responsibilities and a splash of GBO and a video that I made.
Yeah, as far as for me, it's been pretty much the same. I my grandma was in the hospital, and
Mm-hmm.
so there was that, and then I've been helping my grandpa as well and stuff. So with all that and everything, and then the house, the leak outside, that's been fun. And now that that's been replaced, that giant bill and whatnot, but on the inside, I'm having problems now, which yeah, hopefully I get that fixed. I got one of the little things to turn the water on and off with to the hot water heater just decided to break. I'm gonna just cut the pipe and connect it with a little ball valve to shut it. So that'll be better at least, and I hope that's the problem is the valve that's currently on it. But if it's not, then oops, back to the drawing board, and hopefully it's not worse things in the house, which like the sink in there is clogged with something, so I got to go find where in that area of the pipe that there's an actual clog. So I'm hoping it's just literally right there, and I can like fish it out with a clothes hanger and then turn it back on and pop it out. But we'll see. But other than that, I'm just like, please, just work. I need water. I need consistent water in my life right now. Game wise though, like literally same kind of thing, just GBO2. Done some Evo. Been doing some Evo, just a bit in Plat right now. Been wanting to do more. Again, haven't really played. I played like 2 games in the past like 12 days of Evo. So it's just one of those things. The IRL stuff and things. And I've like streamed once in the past 12 days, other than now. So yeah, it's been one of those times.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, I hear ya. I feel that.
But that's been mostly what I've been up to, other than catching up on anime, which was the other thing I was going to mention too. Might as well. Have you guys been watching anything else? Which one of them we could go ahead and talk about new Gundam things at the end of the intro here. But what other shows have you been watching?
I'm guessing you aside from Witch from Mercury, then.
Yeah.
I've been checking out a few things like Tensei, Shitara, whatever. I think it's called like Reincarnated as a Sword as well. But
oh yeah, I heard about that one.
That one's been really cool. Ryusei's voice actor from Super Robot Wars is the sword as well. So
nice.
It's pretty cool. And I think they like play off of that too, because some of the music and the fights sounds like it would fit nicely into a Super Robot Wars game. So it's like doubly cool. But
what is the kind of hook with that one? Or like
just usual isekai nonsense. Fran is fucking moe and adorable as fuck. Head pats only, protect her, and all that good stuff, you know. But it's just them doing isekai, like dunking on nonsense. It's kind of like a mix. Sometimes Fran will just body things, and other times it's an actual fight. But the isekai character in this case, instead of being like an overpowered like person badass, is a very powerful sword instead, and just like pair up with a moe cat girl, and they go on wild misadventures and all that good jazz. Anime stuff at that point.
Anything else?
There's another one. I can't remember the name. I think it's like not quite married, or not married but not quite friends, or some nonsense like that. But it's about these kids at this school that get paired up with like a member of the opposite sex, and they do like a fake marriage thing to kind of like prepare them for marriage in real life. And their score is based on like, supposedly they have sensors in their room that can tell how much they like each other because anime, but they get graded on it. Yeah, they get graded on it based on like
also
how much. Yeah, but like how much of a couple they are. So and that one's pretty neat.
More than a married couple, but not lovers.
Yeah, that one. But the main character likes his childhood friend, and he of course doesn't get paired with her. He instead gets paired with the classroom Garu, who likes the popular pretty boy who's actually not a jerk, supposedly. And the main character's childhood friend is paired with him. So the whole idea is that they're supposed to be like liking each other, because apparently if your rating's high enough, you can switch your marriage partner into thing, which doesn't make any fucking sense, but whatever. So they're trying to do that by acting like a married couple. And then fan service and all that good jazz is abound. It's pretty fun though. The main character plays video games, and the one that he plays is like a reference to like, it's like a hybrid of Final Fantasy and the Saga games. And
nice.
It's like a reference towards that, which is pretty cool.
That's a good pull though.
But yeah, Gustav, you been watching anything?
Other than Cyberpunk and just doing Silhouette Sundays, no, that's about it for me.
Well, this season for me popped off. Last season I was pretty sleepy on it, like, of course, Cyberpunk so far anime of the year, but everything else really was just like, there were a couple of things, but there was like one or two shows and that was about it that I really kept up with, or then eventually binged. There might have been maybe 4. There's like something or multiple things a day. So like today I need to watch like My Hero season 6. There's Spy X Family, which I finally decided to watch that actually now. So I get all these
pretty good
references from Spy X Family. I'm like, oh, that's what those pictures were. Got it, because I just started like
Anya.
Yeah. And then One Piece is still popping off on Saturdays. Let's go. I feel like there's one more thing that's going on because there's like literally there's like 25 shows every Saturday now this season. So yeah. Then of course, Witch of Mercury. We'll talk about that here in a second. To Your Eternity 2 on Sunday. Thought about checking that out, but I mean, again, the first one was pretty good, pretty sad, especially at the beginning. Warning there. Mondays, Bleach. Let's go. Dude, that remix of that song is so good. Also, Golden Kamui, fantastic show. Chainsaw Man on Tuesdays. That's what most people's like anime of the year is. What people are betting on.
Dude, they nerfed Machina's Dump. How can you watch it?
Wait, what?
There's like stuff on Twitter saying that they nerfed Machina's ass.
Oh no!
And they weren't making her as thick. Yeah, she was in the manga. It was funny. I haven't seen any of Chainsaw Man though.
I will say the opener theme was a banger though.
Oh yeah, dude. Opener is awesome. Then like Mob Psycho, I think that's on Wednesdays. Season
It's like
3.
season 3 or something.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Mob Psycho every time. Now I will say the opener right now isn't popping off as much with me, but Mob, the group that does the 99 and the 99.9, like those two openings and those two songs, some of my favorite openings. Yeah, there's just literally something every day. Like a friend of mine tried to get me to watch, for anybody who is more into some of the moe stuff and maid cafes. It definitely. I was like, okay, you have my attention for what happened in the first 5 seconds. I can't say because it's a massive spoiler as to what the show is even like. But Akiba Maid War, it was. I was not expecting that. I watched the first episode, but that's it. But like, still, it was different, and the first 5 seconds made me watch at least the first episode.
I should check it out. I know which one you're talking about, but I kind of just read what it was about and was like, yeah, I'm not that interested, and kept going.
Yeah, like I'd say you would probably enjoy it. Well, I can't say anything because yeah.
I gotcha.
Just watch like the first minute, and then you'll probably be interested. And if you like the whole episode, then yeah, probably like the series. Yeah, just too many things this season. Like, it's crazy. It's popping off. That's why I had to bring it up, because I figured there'd be, at least a ton of shows mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few more I'm watching
like,
too, but
I was behind this week.
Into it,
Moving on.
Yeah. Fair enough. Witcher Mercury and new Gundam content. Let's get to the new Gundam content. So yeah, what are you?
So this is a short thread about how Witcher Mercury is the downfall of the Gundam IP.
Oh my god.
It was funny seeing people trash that guy on Twitter, though. G Gundam is the downfall of Gundam. Short thread. It's like something for everything. That was just people joking on him, though. But I've been liking Witcher Mercury, though. I think it's been pretty cool.
I will say, as far as like, I'll just talk about first episode things compared to the prologue.
Prologue or episode 1?
Well, prologue was amazing, and like I was like, okay, I'm gonna love this show. Here we go. We're going prologue things. Like, this is gonna be intense, tragic.
Like, it's a murder fest right out of the gate. Sign Magnum up.
Yeah. But then episode 1 was so jarring, though. Like, I mean, like,
Nobody died, and they were in school and youthfully and stuff. Oh no!
It just turned into a school anime. This is not what we signed up for.
Hey, at least the main character likes tomatoes, so I can agree with this at least. But
Peace.
Sadly, I'm out of tomatoes now. They've all died. But
no. Rip.
Till next year. But anyway, yeah, like just the whole jarring thing. Like, if it was presented to me, though, as like school where disputes are decided with giant robot fights, I mean, I'm still in. Like, but like, I was just like,
I mean, to be fair, there was an act of terrorism that was about to happen before the duel happened.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
They were about to bomb an entire like group. So,
and then Soletta dunked on that dude's son.
Did
stuff, and they stopped it or whatever.
But yeah,
things were going down. It was just in the background.
So I do like the episode 2 started getting into more of the politics and stuff. So I'm curious to see where it goes. I just guessing because of the prologue, I think we're headed for some massive like tragedy or something, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Like, as far as like, I'm just curious which way it's gonna go with just the main character, though. But
Gustav, speaking of the second episode, did you see that meme that was floating on Twitter where they like Phoenix eroticized Soletta's mom and had her at the witness stand?
Yeah.
It's not a Gundam. It's actually a prototype of the Huckabine. I lost my face and arm to the black hole cannon engine that it had.
Did you also see that video of what's his name just like trying to guess what's a Gundam and what's not?
No, I have not actually.
Oh no.
That one's really good.
Oh man.
Oh, actually, I think I might know what you're talking about. Is it the one with the guy that's just sitting there and he has like
The
pictures of
Gundam.
flashing by?
Yeah. And
Oh,
then
okay.
Sentinel shows up and he's like, "What do I Gundam with that? Gundam with that."
Oh no, I don't.
He is the Gundam.
I've seen it, but I haven't I haven't listened to it with audio on. I'm always at like work whenever I come across it, so I don't have the audio on.
But like, there's two of them at this point, with him
Mm.
just like, because you know, shit is a Gundam and shit's not a Gundam in Gundam all the time, even though it should be a Gundam.
Oh sure. Ariel's definitely not a Gundam, of course.
Oh
Totally
my
not.
goodness.
Absolutely not.
But no, I think it's pretty cool. I thought it was I thought it's funny too at the beginning of the first episode how Mjorn, that's her name, right? The
Mjolnir
weird-
or whatever. Yeah.
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 I really
She,
need
like,
to
shut
hear someone
down
say that
all of the,
outside of, like, the weeby pronunciations. Like,
Yeah.
there's got to be an official way for everyone else to say it.
Right. But like how she shut down all of the Yuri shipping that was being done like immediately in the first few seconds of the second
It's like,
episode.
no, this is pure business.
Right. Like, oh man, the Yuri shippers are in shambles. No.
No, they're not in shambles. They're still thriving over there because they're like,
Hell
oh,
yeah.
change your mind. Oh, shit. We also have Pink Camille, aka Choo Choo.
Oh yeah. I think Noob Sama posted like a meme of like her hair puffs being like the Edeon main characters, like afros.
Yeah, and then one where they're incoms.
Oh no. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need to look up some memes about this. I've been missing out.
You get your meme game on, Magnum.
For real.
But no, the stuff, all the stuff has been pretty cool. I've been enjoying Witch Mercury. I'm excited to see like where things go with it for sure.
Since you already mentioned the kind of like the trial thing or whatever, I'll go ahead and mention this then. I'm curious to see, because just from the trial, I'm like, and it's like definitely not a Gundam. Nope. Like I'm like, okay, she's gonna from the prologue, she's definitely gonna pull a Char thing. She's definitely gonna pull a Char here at some point, I bet.
The question becomes who's going to be the Garma.
That's my theory. Right? My thing is like, that's what I'm saying. I'm just wondering how her daughter is going to fit into that, because you know she's going to do it, and it's going to be like, that's where I feel like the big drama and tension is going to come in.
I just hope they don't make, I know it's a big deal of world building and stuff, but I hope the next episode isn't all just
another lore dump.
Well, not necessarily. I just hope it's not just like Suletta and Hairpuff Girl, like Suletta just being Suletta and Hairpuff Girl being like an anti-space annoyed, and them kind of getting over that. Like I'm really hoping that like most of that got resolved at the end of the last episode, and we won't have to like.
Nah, give me more spaceism. I need to start punching more people.
Yeah, I just hope the next episode isn't fully dedicated to like Suletta ironing out her like,
yeah,
towards space annoyance. Like I hope we just kind of like iron that under the bus for those two at the end of this episode, and then we can just keep doing like other Gundam things in the fourth episode.
Like I would say, spoiler warning there.
It'll probably be because there's gonna be someone else like that they had to deal with,
right?
Like just shift their focus or whatever. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Like I would say spoiler warning with that, but I feel the same way. I'm like, nah, let's move on. It's been a thing. It's done. You've established this.
Yeah.
Let's get to a bigger plot. I want bigger plot.
Made it clear when they like those shithead girls spit in their food, and then she beat the hell out of the other two.
That was pretty good.
That fight was so good.
But
I
will say though about Suletta though, I'm not crazy, but it's not like a game breaker about Suletta being like mega stuttery awkward or whatever. People are like that. But I really like how genuine Suletta seems to be, and how she can like acknowledge people's strengths and credit them for that. Like the part when she was with what's his name, Gao or whatever, and they were making fun of him in the student council room, and she told them she told him to back off because he was standing up and fighting, or what's his face with the student council that was offering to let her use his house, and Mjorn was like, "Don't trust him," and Sled's like, "No, he's a good guy." Just stuff like that. Sled is not willing to back down in cases like that, and I think that's pretty cool.
Could she be?
I think a
new
bigger
type?
thing for her is going to be when she makes the wrong call on one of those.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
That's the first time somebody dies.
Yep, exactly. Like, oh, I trust.
Oh my gosh! If it really is
they
that
die
bad,
or
I'm
they
gonna be
kill
like,
somebody.
Yeah, I can see the second one.
I'm gonna be like, whoa. I'm gonna even be like, whoa, hold on now. I was kind of joking about that.
Mag was gonna go get his scarecrow mask back on. Like, yes, this is what I'm here for.
This is what I live for. Yes.
Yeah, kill them all.
I'm so glad I didn't try to take a drink there. But anyway,
the kill rate in Victory Gundam was painfully low.
I mean, I will say it literally is like the end of Zeta straight into double Zeta as far as how the prologue to the show is so far. I was just like, whoa. But anyway, if anything else or if nothing else with Witch of Mercury, a decent segue from before mentioning, is it a Gundam? So have you guys been playing much Evo? What do you think of Evo? And have you watched everybody say the Zaku Gundam, or the Gun Tank Gundam, or the
I feel like that
Gundam?
Went away pretty quickly, mostly because the player base went away pretty quickly on the Western
yeah,
end.
they're on like Overwatch right now.
Oof.
But it's still pretty
As
fun.
all things Gundam, it's still pretty much thriving in Japan, but like, yeah, even then, there's been a big shift to Overwatch too, so that kind of came and went faster than the podcast came back, unfortunately.
No, it really did.
But yeah, I was talking to Extra about it a little bit, and he said he was keeping track of the like the active user numbers on Evolution. And I wish he was here to tell me exactly what it was.
3,000 last time I checked.
Yeah, like it's less than 10K consistently per day.
Yeah, and he was saying like it was dropping pretty significantly since like the first week. And this is like the week I think Overwatch 2 dropped when we last talked about it. So it is a bit rough. They just needed to hit us up with some of those content creator packs, or they gave out the 15,000 Evo coins and stuff. Not that I don't think that would have made any difference given who they've been giving it to. But
I kind of want their content creator program to just be more concise and like open at this point, because Capcom's starting to do that more openly. Like I'm actually seeing more badges and stuff, and they actually like talk about it. This seems to like some secret society shit for Bamco at this point. I couldn't really tell you how to get into any of that.
MTG has a good one too. Like you literally just sign up on their website, and they just give you like a bunch of currency for MTGA. I think something like that for Bamco would be pretty good, because they have something like that for. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but like what's it called, Bless or whatever,
Bless
Unleashed, yeah, or that one. They had like a thing on our site where you could sign up for their content creation group. Maybe they need to do something like that for Evolution and GBO or something.
But also,
yeah, because there was that really early push during the launch and the network tests, and then I think most of those personalities just never bothered to come back. So like,
yeah, they were probably just I think most of them were probably just paid by Bamco, or they were just interested and checked it out and then dipped probably.
Yeah, most of them are playing other games at this point, or went to Overwatch, and a lot of the Overwatch people went back to Overwatch. But yeah, right now the highest I can see in the past since the 17th of this month, 4,593 was the highest peak. So kind of oof.
Yeah, I wish I could play more. It's just not a game that I excel at, but I'd like to see it pick back up for sure.
And then at October, the beginning of October, there was still 18,000 for the peak, and then they quickly, within like 10 days, went down to about 6. So, but
yep, neat game. They're definitely making changes. They just had an update like a couple days ago, but like it's kind of hard to talk about it when it's barely present. So we'll hopefully maybe when they announce another season or do some suit announcements, that'll pick back up.
They did do some patch notes. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how if you guys been paying attention to that or playing much, but as far as like the different suits, do you feel like the melee stuff was a little too strong, and they buffed range by giving them 1 to like 3 extra shots?
Increase their ammo. Yeah. I think it was a good call.
Some of those suits didn't need it because like it's one of those things like the GM Sniper 2. It's one of those suits that benefit from, if you're a god in the suit, you're just completely broken. So it
Grandpa Gundam is another really good one too.
Yeah, that's another one. Like if you can hit headshots like a beast, then Grandpa is one of the most broken suits there is.
I feel like it comes from a place of thinking about like how characters usually are in other things like Overwatch and like the sheer volume of fire that comes out of most of them. By comparison, this has a lot of just semi-auto rifles and shit that are like one shot. There's no spread. There's like not really, as far as I know, a lot of hit scan either. So it's like, I think they just were like, well, people are fucking up, because they also have to think about the ratio of people running certain suits and the fact that like dailies are making them run certain things.
Yeah, that's what.
So it's like, well, people are fucking this up. We should probably give them more chances to not fuck it up and just see where that goes. So like the ammo count was nice. Some of the adjustments from suit to suit were a little weird, but overall, hopefully that'll actually help things out. Because whatever happens, especially in the early days with their unit adjustments, is definitely going to reflect on how they treat newer suits that are coming out of the gate.
Yeah, I will say the melee I think got hit a little hard, honestly, but it did have the best ult in the game, so fair enough.
And I mean, there's still some of the bigger like offsets of that game compared to just like the way most other units play. So
yeah, but overall, I'm still having fun with it. I'm still gonna be playing it. Still gonna try to hit diamond with gun tank when the season ends. But I gotta actually get on and play though to do that. But right now, as long as they keep the rating going the way it is, it's pretty easy to climb right now. It's definitely not.
Finally, we went from Magnum like fucking rage posting on Twitter about his climb to like, oh yeah, it's easy. Let's keep it like this.
Yeah, I mean, they did a 180 on it. This is a huge shift.
I had -72 and +12.
You better start winning those games, Magnum.
And then, yeah, I was like barely just keeping on. Like I'd be like, yeah, I'm just winning. I'm winning. I lost, and I went down. What?
several wins down the tubes and 1 loss. Like, oh.
Yeah, like 5 wins down the tube and 1 loss. And it was very consistent.
GBO
like that.
fills.
So then finally now it's like you got to lose twice to lose a win. So I'm like, yeah, now it's just in the opposite direction. It's way too easy to climb. I'm like, I just hope they don't nerf it before I actually have time to play.
Got to get the new type fast,
right? But yeah. Other than that, SD Gundam Battle Alliance. I saw you had your finale video up on YouTube, Gustav.
Yeah.
So, what do we think of that?
I hope that's not it. But part 3 was really good. I actually really liked Hathaway's level in particular. Just like some Royal Rumble level, like everyone's here kind of shit. So I was down for that.
Did you fight on top of a Jollibee? I haven't played it yet.
Now, so there's a lot of like 1 Year War crossover, just like any kind of relation they could pull, they did for like just like UC 1 Year War era and into there, especially when it came to like Amro's ties and stuff to some of the characters and Char and whatnot. So I thought that was
sounds really cool.
I will
they
say,
also dusted off Packard and stuff because Shiro was there, and I'm just like, oh boy. How many times have we had to fight that fucker as like an actual like character or boss fight. It's pretty wild so far.
I will say I
Well,
do
dust
like what
off the
they've done
bridge.
for free though with the EX missions and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
still haven't played them all, but I've been getting the stuff to upgrade my suits. I'll get to doing them on stream one day, but like the I've just been keeping my suits leveled up to 100 and stuff and farming money whenever I get a chance just to do around here or there. I will say the other thing with the like DLC again, the pay to win parts and the suits. I can concede on the suits if it's still someone gets shafted when your favorite suit is locked behind the DLC because you got to buy the game and then you got to buy the DLC. But the part thing where best in slot or even better than other parts exist with the new EX parts that come from the EX missions is a little.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
a little oof.
The
And then
grind for all that's a little deep for me too. Like honestly, I'm not gonna touch most of the EX stuff.
yeah,
Like if
so
it's not actually new content and it's just like, oh, do these extra things, and I don't really care.
yeah, it's just get better parts at that point. Make your build even better, kind of thing. And like,
Mhm.
while that is fun to do them at least once with friends too, the other thing is for the people who do want to farm. If you do want to farm with people, and the best stuff for most of the things is in the DLC stuff, and this is my problem, then you don't have anybody to farm with if you don't have the DLC stuff.
Yeah,
And
because they're not going to be wasting their time, right?
yeah, and you know, obviously if you have friends, they're probably going to play with you somehow at some point. So fair enough. But I'm just saying, as far as a community destroyer, not being able to play the missions with people, like even if you want to, you know, you can't get the suits, cool, you can't farm the suits, but I mean, at least let it so that people can play the missions. And even if you want to make them not be able to get the EX parts too, then fair enough. But at least let people play together. Like that's the base bare minimum thing I'm asking for right now for that.
I don't disagree with you there because I was when we were talking about it, I was hoping they would let the non DLC people at least play the missions. Um,
Yep.
if they're
Yeah,
capping some of the DLC content for them.
like even
But I
Nintendo,
agree.
well, people learn that lesson with Mario Kart and shit. Like if they're
Right.
figuring that out, then you guys can. Like, come on.
Like, you know, if you want to keep the parts, you want to keep the suits, I'll concede. I'll trade that for being able to just play with people. Because I'm in the party of no DLC because they did it the way with the suits and the parts. I'm not spending a dime right now, so I'm definitely in the no DLC thing. Which, you know, fair enough
That's
on the point
impossible.
that I am keeping up with parts and, you know, like upgrades and stuff, and my suits, I have infinite ammo now, big time because of that new skill. I will say the free stuff they've added with the
This
Phoenix they
does.
added, the missions, the skills, like that's really awesome.
Mhm.
Keep that coming. But yeah, at least let people play together. That's my only gripe with it. Other than that, I think it's a pretty good game, pretty solid. Base game's pretty good. But
Check it out. Maybe be on sale.
what else Gundam happened? Is that it? I feel like I'm missing something.
There was
Oh,
a side thing that happened. It just happened yesterday. Udir Hunt is back. That other IBO mobile game that was like shut down for a long time in
Mhm.
terms of like development, but they're actually going to be doing like a beta and stuff soon. But it's GP only, to my understanding. There hasn't really been any English announcements about it.
and also the SD mobile game.
G
Genesis
Generation Eternal.
Eternal. There we go. I
Mhm.
couldn't remember
That's
what
our
was.
next big one states then. So
That one was fun.
I did not get an email for that one.
same, but I checked out some of the VOD stuff from Emblem's run. It looks pretty solid. It's about what I expected. So if it's
Yeah.
just that, like I'm good.
Yeah, so those at home, pretty much it's really close to the console gen experience, just in a mobile package. One of the things I was saying is that I think it might be too close. So they changed the way that you recover energy. Like the battleships are still there, and they have the little like small squads that were in Cross Rays, but the energy regeneration is like completely reduced. In the mobile game. It's like you can't board the ships. You just have to be adjacent to it and you heal. But like there are certain like battleships aren't too bad, but you can't let you can't do auto battles with the battleships because your units will just automatically fly and dogpile onto whatever the closest enemy is, even if they have 0 energy. They will never go back to the ship and recover.
Huh, that's weird.
Yeah, that part's kind of rough. And then like in the small
they all
groups,
went in the cave.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about GBO. In the small
Yeah.
groups, it's a little bit more sustainable in auto, but certain suits, particularly like anything like the Gundam seed suits have their phase shifts and stuff like that. I think this one in particular is called trans phase armor, but that one makes it to where at the beginning of each of your turns to have it active where it gives you like a percentage reduction, and it's like abysmally low, like 2% or some nonsense like
That's
that.
nasty.
Yeah, and it costs like 20 energy at the beginning of each turn. And the crazy thing is that the energy check doesn't occur until after you recover your energy. So like you'll recover energy, get up to like 20 or above, and then the game will check for the energy and drain you back down to fucking 0. So like those units literally cannot act after a certain point in the map because their energy regain is after the check for the skill, so they can never do anything ever again. It's fucking painful. Yeah.
That's weird, and the idea that like even if they could be near the ship, that they'd be exposed because they can't physically be inside it is also a little bizarre. So that's interesting. Not in a good way, but it's interesting.
Yeah. So like I think they either need to do something like my comments were like the game is like suit wise and attack wise is almost too close to the normal G generation games with the systems that they have in place to recover stamina, and maybe they need to like scale back the cost some or do something about your energy regen, and definitely do something about the skills that like check your energy at the beginning and drain you and make it so you can't act. But besides that, like it looks like you can develop into different suits regardless if it's on the banners or not. The big thing will just be you won't have the eternal arm off the suit if you create into it. You have to. It seems like you have currently. It seems like you have to pull it off the banner. And like just to give an idea with like the Phoenix Gundam, it's like the eternal arm attack is like over 7,000 damage, and its next highest attack, I think I'm trying to remember, it's like maybe like 5,000 or something like that. And its particular eternal arm had like the best range out of all of its attacks. It cost like 72 energy or some nonsense like that, but you completely demolish things. It was awesome. So while the suit's still good without it, it's definitely far and away its best skill for just bursting things down. You could like one combo things. And they have all the systems and stuff, so you can develop pilots, move skills. You can kind of like train your units seemingly at some point to be able to do almost whatever you want, because they cut off all the battleship skills. So mechanic, guest, or charisma, stuff like that is gone. And they just have like leadership and then the offensive pilot skills. So it seems like you kind of just do almost whatever you want with any of the characters. So if you wanna get Marina and buff her up and have her be a Gundam Meister, pacifism be damned or whatever.
Right. Which is a little odd. I mean, hopefully they do an expansion for that at some point. But yeah, it figures that they would simplify some of the ship stuff and just stick to the characters for like the suits and pilots.
Yeah. And hopefully I'm assuming the ships will be better later. The carry base is always a little bit
Yeah.
They didn't give you access to any of the iconic ships outside of like guest appearances and other missions, but it's pretty solid. I got a YouTube video where you can watch it and see the initial gameplay if you want.
Hey, link that to me and I'll put it in the description.
Okay.
But yeah,
so 3 hours long, by the way.
Yeah, just a little lengthy. No big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as other Gundam things, I think that's it. So if we want to hop into GBO2 things, the recent suits that have come out, I have got them all pulled up here. I can rapid fire, and if anybody wants to say anything about any of them specific, which one did get buffed this time, so I guess we could sort of talk about it. From what I've heard, it's actually pretty solid now. I was seeing it earlier, but the first one, since the last time we had a podcast, was the Jesta Cannon. So it's looking pretty okay now. Just about everything on it got buffed, so definitely something to check out again.
I've seen one every now and then in a while, but yeah, it's an interesting one.
Then we had the Vertex Pianos. Then,
Keynote's pretty nice. Swing to knock down everybody, just like the old EOS.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Definitely another one I haven't seen a whole lot of since the drought, though.
I tried it. It's interesting. The Hazel Custom Hymo. I finally got that one.
That was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, but I don't know. Something's not. I mean, as far as the melee part, I just can't get in there. I'm just like, I just stay back and shoot. I don't know if that's.
You can't get in there. That thing's a shooting star, man. My goodness.
I don't know. I mean, it's. I guess I'm just getting hit in the legs too much or something, or build up stun
Possibly.
or whatever. But then finally a support sniper that is actually a proper sniper support. This is the sniper support of our dreams. The Vertex Xanthos.
Oh yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
And it has quick turn, which is kind of funny. But yeah, hopefully a lot more of these snipers kind of move toward that. But it actually has multiple stuns that it can use in combo from massively long range. Garazulu, the spin, pull me forward, beam Naginata thing that also has like a -2 charge time. Like, you can knock somebody down, then charge the heavy attack, and then just delete them. Like, that is pretty impressive. Like, that's the main thing with it. Like, I was like, the Banner Knight, I remember that one specifically. I was like, yeah, this thing kind of sucks. And then, like,
damn.
One day later, I saw Aoshi streaming, and he's like, knockdown, heavy attack, and I was like, oh, that's terrifying. It can do that?
Yeah. I think that's some disgusting stuff. I like the videos people are posting where they're literally just like throwing people into blenders, man. He's like throwing stuff at a wall and just like
fucking windmills, let's go.
Yeah, man. It's just crazy.
Then we have the Galbaldi Beta Hymo Type Titans edition.
Gesundheit.
I forgot that it was a support. Okay, that thing is trash.
Poor bastard.
That thing is complete garbage. I mean, the only saving grace at all that it has is it has the that's the kit bash I was thinking, because it has the Zeku Ain's beam on the shoulder with some kind of missile pod with the Galbaldi, and it's just a Galbaldi Beta with the shield, and then it has the Hazel beam rifle. So the only thing good on it is the Hazel beam rifle. And everything else is
I forgot about that
very
thing.
mid.
Yeah.
Because they took away the Pierce from the Zeku Ain's beam rifle as well. So it's like...
Yeah, that was an odd choice.
Yeah, so like everything good about that beam rifle now is just garbage. And it's just like... Oof. And it takes like 2 shots to stun or something now, or whatever, instead of just 1 volley, I think. I could be wrong on that one. But either way, it's bad. It's real bad. That one, I'm surprised didn't get nerfed. Or, sorry, buffed this patch. Then the Delta Kai 4-star came out after that. Yeah, it's pretty oof, guys. What do you think on that one? Like,
I feel like I see it a lot at 650.
I see it a lot, but Rebawu is just leaps and bounds ahead of it. Like, I mean, if you were like an EXS player or maybe a Brigazi Kai player, you could probably use this if you because it has a better flying form than the Brigazi Kai, but it has about the same base form as the EXS, but it's a whole lot smaller. So that's why it kind of beats the EXS in that regard. So I don't know. This thing,
Maybe it depends on the map. Like, I feel like most of my 650 cost matches are like mobile suits versus the fucking Air Force.
Well, I was gonna say
The,
its flying
the
form
new
is the
suit.
best.
Yeah.
It's got the best flying mode in the game for sure. Like it's as far as like just flying around like a plane and just doing all the damage. It's actually kind of gross.
Yeah, they're all bullies.
But other than doing that, like that's literally its main thing. If it's in its base mode, if I'm like in the
Oh dear.
Shardija, I'm just like, oh come here, Delta Kai. I've one comboed them like
What?
probably 20 times. As soon as, or if they're flying at me, even I'll just like full charge the beam gun and then just like missile them on the way down and then smack them and they're like 75% of their health gone. But I mean, it is the Shardija, I guess, and that thing has like no resist. Period. That's kind of my problem with it. It's too squish. They need to buff its health, and I think it'll be fine.
I think they leave it like that on purpose just because of the kit and the shield, which is, kind of a mixed bag, but still. It's still pretty good at just like blast downs and being able to shift between the two.
Any of GPO1's downswing.
Oh yeah, I will say I do like that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, anything else with the Delta Kai?
No, I mean it's good. Been seeing people run it more. Especially if you can just get your range punish on, then like the sheer volume of fire that those funnels bring and other stuff that it has is pretty hard to argue with in a lot of cases.
Yep. And in case you were having a poor time playing GBO2, you can just play Ace Combat Infinity or whatever.
Like legit in some of the early lobbies with it, it legit was just turning into Star Fox in Ace Combat, where you just had a bunch of them flying around, blasting your asshole, and then bumping you and just like nudging around.
Boop.
And then of course you'd have a couple that would land, do some blast down, and then just like funnels
Turn back
to
into
death.
a plane.
Well, the
Yeah,
funnels
I hate
do need
seeing a
more
smug
range.
Fucking blue
So I mean, like
flying
at,
at you.
at my cost range, or at least in my rating range, there are still revolvers running around, but like Delta's kind of took over for a little bit, and the ratio's just been kind of back and forth. So like, I've seen a fair amount of both. I don't really
sure.
think one's ever like taken over the other or was like reclaimed its spot or anything like that. Now, whether or not it's the same once we get to like solid S- range or whatnot, that's a different story. But
did you, from what I heard from talking to some of the people doing clan ranked, the Rebawu was just the kind of the superior thing to use?
oh yeah, because it's just so aggressive.
Yeah.
So like if you're running with a squad, then like you're definitely just gonna be doing the usual stuff with that. But for pubs and stuff,
well, almost anything works in YOLO queue.
No, I mean there's still things that you would use or not use for YOLO queue, but for pubs it was mostly just Delta Kais with the occasional Rebawu.
Then after the Delta Kai, we had the Zaku 4, which I kind of wanted. I was hoping to just get lucky because I actually kind of liked its combo. You could shoot twice for a stun, charge up for the heavy, and then just like either punch them down and then shoot their legs, or kind of shoot their legs then go for the punch, or however you want to do it if they already wasted their dodge roll. Like there's a lot of combo potential with that actually. I just think a lot of people just dumped all their tokens for the Delta Kai, and that's why I didn't see hardly any of them, and still don't see too many of them. I put a few spins on it, but I was waiting. I knew I had to build back up after trying a couple of spins on the Delta Kai. I was like, yeah, there's gonna be something coming by Halloween. But it's kind of cool having a heavy stun for a Zaku 4. It's a big suit though, still big boy. But it does have. They do want you to get in there in melee though, so that's kind of interesting. That I'm pretty sure it has a high melee resist if I recall correctly.
I think so.
Then the next one, the Gelgoog Haimo GK emblem. You want to take it away?
I want that suit. It's so fucking cool.
Oh, did you not get it?
I don't have it.
Oh no, dude! Like that thing's insane.
I really wasn't even able to spend that week.
like it's got crazy damage with its 2 melee weapons, and then it's just like you burst for a stun. Every 4 shots is 100%, so you can burst supports and just stun them, and then you don't even have to heavy.
Shining finger.
But then when you do, exactly, it's gross.
It's so good. Fucking universe crab. I got it on both accounts. It's been really
Nice.
fun to mess with. The funny thing is that there's so much wiggle room on the second swing because it's just a stab that comes out at an odd angle, and you can actually turn your suit pretty hard.
Oh.
So if you catch someone with the shoulder, you can get a single knockdown, and if you see someone past yourself, you can actually have enough reach if they're close enough to just nail another person or just clothesline someone with the beam.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've seen some of the hits. Can it do up to 10k if you hit somebody with everything? It looked kind of hard to hit somebody with all parts of that heavy.
Yeah, like it's pretty gross, especially because it has that knockdown bonus skill too. So even if you like don't have time to set up the heavy or kind of flub it, you can as long as you get the knockdown, you can still get like a good like 4k chunk off someone with the down swing on the Naginata or whatever you got going on. It's a little bit like the output's a little bit less for the claw if you're trying to do that, just because it's a 2-hitter and the way that it comes out. But like, yeah, there's a fair amount of options to just keep the damage going as long as you're like engaged in there.
That was 500, right? So then the next week they just had to come up with something that could fight it very aggressively. And then they came out with the Striker custom full armor.
Yeah, viciously was trapping it at range most of the time.
Yeah.
And then got in there and popped priority 3 and then proceeded to beat its ass afterwards. Which is funny because like in the beginning I was like, this seems very anti-punch chicken. And then there was a fucking meme that came out on the JPN about it, like, oh, you're approaching me, yada yada yada. And it's like, oh, I can take you on now because I have my my thing popped, and he just cabled punch. That was the end of that.
I will say though, the Demon Blade mode plus 3 melee weapons plus a long range cannon plus a beam that stuns at a decent range plus, I mean, like, I don't know, this thing is literally the Swiss Army knife full armor general, like the thick Swiss Army knife of 500 cost right now. Like, I really want one.
Yeah, I'm glad they made a new
it's
version.
It's the next like safe cost, or it's like the next safe pick for that cost now.
Right.
It can dodge roll too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Demon Blade mode, it gets everything the Striker custom.
Yeah, it's got
does.
a pop for it.
Oh, okay.
It literally is just a Striker custom.
Yeah, good thing it didn't break the heavy cannon rolling around on the ground like that.
And the crazy, I mean, it's pretty wide. That's the only downside to it, is just how thick it is. Really, that's pretty much it.
It is a chunky boy. That makes sense to full armor, right?
But also with the Striker custom though, like it having maneuver armor and the dodge rolls, and then just all the Demon Blade mode buffs, and having 3 melee weapons, and again the cannon, and then the beam. I'm just like, this is actually
but the
insane.
Mark III can't have, or no, but the full armor Mark II can't have maneuver armor for some reason.
Right?
Impossible.
Active block.
Active block's too good, man.
Obviously, yeah, like stealth, right?
Yeah, easy. Oh my. But yeah, I love that they came out with a better support than supports at this cost too. That also has 3 melee weapons.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a version of the suit that people have been asking for a long time. It's just, it was just a matter of how are they going to present it.
It is insane though. Like I really want it. I hope I get it at some point. But I just didn't want to put too many spins in on it because I was assuming that this week we were going to get a 4-star, and we did. So the main suit of the week, I guess we'll go and make that the main topic right now. The Sinanju Stein.
Oh dear.
I honestly am kind of like, it's not better than the Banshee. Like that's kind of my issue with it. Is it doesn't really do anything else different than what already exists, and the Banshee's already just kind of still the king of raids.
See, you're not entirely wrong about that, but I'm also confused because like I haven't really seen a lot of Banshees running around either. Like a lot of these teams are just overwhelmingly shirking most raids, even the Banshee, and are just sticking to just all unicorns and maybe like one or two offsuits.
I mean, there is still just how much bunga the unicorn is. But
I don't know. Like, I personally think the Stein is comparable. It's like you trade off a little bit of melee functionality to have a little bit more of a consistent range game. Because the beam rifle that it has is pretty solid. It's 50% stagger value per shot, and it's like I think it's like an eight ammo E cap.
Yeah. It
1,500
reminds me a lot
damage.
of just like your usual like Toadsitter kind of rifle thing going on.
Yeah, Toads, Jarja. You should be like a couple of shots is all it takes to stop a unicorn from doing its rampage. The active purge ability I think is incredibly strong.
Now that is
Yeah.
insane.
That's really cool.
That's where it's at. That's what keeps it kind of in there. Is being able to duel anything with that active purge.
Oh, they got
But
one.
yeah,
So here's an
and not
example. Like
only-
I'm in a
or
match
go
right
for it.
now, but like right now we have a Banshee on the other side, but like the rest of this side, and except for me, unfortunately, because I don't have a unicorn on this account, are all unicorns, and that's mostly been the case. But even then, like we were saying in the beginning, I haven't really seen the new suit outside of the first like couple days or so.
Mhm. Yeah, I know I was running into it today. Like the heavy attack is pretty nice. It has the same charge time. I have to remember. I know for sure once the biosensor's activated or the psycho frame is activated, this charge time is the same as the Banshee. I think it's the
Hmm.
recovery time. Yeah, I think it's the recovery time that gets cut in half or something like that. But the
Here, I'm
the
looking
heavy
it up.
attack is pretty good. The
Charge time is 3 seconds base, 1.5 when it goes into.
okay,
Yeah,
I couldn't
really
remember which one
quick.
it was, but yeah. So you get really fast, and I mean the activation for its psycho frame is relatively generous for most suits that have that stuff, since it's only
Oh, yeah.
50%. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit higher just because it has to contest with the fucking Unicorn Gundam, but having that up and getting a 50% damage reduction while the mode is active is pretty nice. And then like with the tanks, you can, since it's a touchpad ability, if you get put in a case where you are recovering from a knockdown and someone's in your face, you can do the tank purge at somebody, and it doesn't even drop your iframes because it's not a conventional weapon.
Yeah, which
It
is
gives you a chance.
amazing.
Yeah, it gives you a chance to like heavy stagger somebody and set up, and I mean that's more than enough time. If you're in that scenario, because you're probably below 50% health if it was a unicorn, to set up a heavy attack to lead into him with or something like that. But I think it's pretty neat. The sub weapon is the same as the regular Sinaju's bazooka, and you have a pretty solid beam rifle. And the Vulcans are incredible. What was the exact percentage? Like it's got to be at least 6.
Like 50,
But
it's like about half, right? The stun. It's only 30 shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
no, it's not that many. I think it's
Well, I mean, like 15 to stun, roughly.
yeah, I think it's like 15 or 16. So it's on par with some of the other stuff. I just think it's
Bazooka's
a
not that
little bit
bad.
tough just because there's so many generals around, particularly the Unicorn Gundam.
Yeah, I mean that's the main thing, and that's the other thing too. Like, they're going to be nerfing the Unicorn and the Banshee next update. So
Yeah, like
That was interesting.
they already mentioned that, which is weird that they specifically mentioned that just to not do it this update. But I guess they want to just see where the new suit falls before they do that.
yeah, and I'm
I
curious
don't know how
whether.
much data that's going to be, or if that's going to be really enough to count much of anything.
Well, they went ahead and said like the use rate is just like pretty much only Banshees and Unicorns. So
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
they want other stuff to be used, and while the performance rate and the damage and stuff is where they expected, which I'm kind of like, so you kind of meant for, because most of the time I see like if there's a unicorn or a banshee on either team, those are the top scores on the chart. So I'm like, so you wanted them to actually just be the best. I mean, that's literally what you're just saying.
Like they had to. There is no way that they were gonna like short chuck the suits and fuck up their own banner. So
like they did with Zeta, double Zeta rather, right?
Right, like they've already made that mistake a couple times, and Unicorn is like one of the bigger entryways for Gundam in modern times. So like, you know, they definitely were gonna make them ass.
I will say though, reading that like sentence about it, it kind of makes me feel like what they're saying is like, to me, the way I took it is the other suits aren't as good, so we're bringing these two down. And I still think they would have to figure out something with the Psycho Frame, like activate or the NTD activation that blocks Psychommu attacks, because stuff like Moon Gundam, even if they made adjustments, gets put into the same like scenario with a lot of its stuff once that's active. But like, to me, this almost feels like a Cubile versus Double Zeta or Dullahan compared to like the other raids kind of scenario where, you know, regular Cubile was disgusting because its other peer, the Double Zeta, wasn't good. And it wasn't the problem, and it wasn't the problem that Cubile was too strong. It's just the Double Zeta was bad. In the Dullahan's case, it was very similar where the Dullahan just had like a commanding presence in its cost range, and people really weren't playing other raids. And I said this on the podcast too. If all the other raids are bad, then just make the other raids better, you know. Which I know there's a lot behind that, especially at that cost range. There's a lot of suits, but I think what they need to do is figure out some way to balance the Psychommu block and maybe just make it shorter. I don't know.
I mean, they did buff the part, so it is a little bit better, but that's only 30%.
Yeah. So. But I think they should like do something to improve the balance on some of the other suits. Maybe like give the Sonat, or I always want to mix up. Give the Sazabi priority 3 and offense system or something like that. That would make it to where the suit would be able to slap aside unicorns and bounce with banshees, but lose to NTD Banshee, which I think is fine. I don't know. Maybe give its follow funnels a little bit more stagger build up so it can rush in and close the gap and get in there a little bit safer. Maybe New Gundam needs. I don't know. I think New Gundam's kit is still like pretty good, but losing its shield to Unicorn is one of the big things. So it's same with Moon Gundam.
Because it can still do a lot of all range attack stuff. Yeah. Like most of its weapons are still fine.
Like I was talking earlier about how maybe they just need to make it to where defensive Psychommu abilities don't get or maybe not like defensive, but like less active Psychommu abilities don't get affected by NTD. So that would be things like the shields, although that one's a little bit weird with Moon Gundam because it actively like moves the block, but the shield effects maybe should not be affected. And for stuff like the bell pepper, maybe the ones where like the funnels go out and track somebody in attack would still be blocked, but the things where you literally just line the funnels up on the floor and they shoot a fucking curtain, like the little carpet, you know, maybe you should still be able to do that because the funnels aren't really doing much besides sitting there and shooting, right? Maybe just stuff like that.
So I mean,
the other thing outside of that is that there should probably just be, you know how incomes are supposed to be manual to a certain degree, like those should probably just slip through. The rest though,
I agree.
I mean, unless they really just want to make most of the effect moot, I don't think they're going to change those, which is a little unfortunate, but it kind of just is what it is for the nature of the way that works.
I feel like
ability itself.
Go ahead, Magnum.
Well, I feel like from the post, like they're getting ahead of this, and like in the cases like the Dullahan, they talked about it during the post, if I recall, and there was no like big warning. Like, I think they're really getting ahead of this to kind of just be like, "Yo, guys, we're about to kill these." Maybe.
Well, yeah.
I wonder if it's that
compared to the 4-star suits that people may have willed to buy.
And that's what I'm curious about. Like, is this them like being like, warning, warning, massive nerfs incoming, or is this going to be like, yeah, we're gonna change it a few times, just brace yourself for the next couple of months, kind of thing. And I'm wondering if we see stuff like half duration on the NTD Saikamu Jack stuff, like a decent damage decrease. Are we seeing the burn for NTD mode going up or something like that?
That would be interesting.
Like I don't see them changing too much of the damage with the unicorn. I could see them hitting the damage a little bit with the
I think
heavy attack.
I think that part's fine, honestly.
I could see them nerfing the combo with the heavy attack, where you knock down, dodge roll, and then heavy attack. I could see them doing
maybe something
like
like that, but I don't think they should adjust the Banshee's damage. I think the unicorn just probably hits a little bit too hard. But like given what it's having to go up against, I think the heavy attack is fine. Maybe just make it not be dodge cancelable and
well, I'm also
be able
thinking
to
what they
follow
normally
up.
do with generals and what they normally do with raids and supports. So that's my other thing. I'm like,
I will say though,
the unicorn's gonna get a slap on the wrist.
It could just be the translation, but the note that they have about it literally states they're just going to make adjustments to the weapons. So maybe they won't adjust the skills, but they'll just make adjustments to like some of the damage on maybe like damage and like cooldown times or whatever on the pre-existing kit. Because I think the irradiation beam on the Banshee is fine because you have to put yourself at risk just to fire it. So I don't think they need to adjust anything on that. The main gun seems fine since you really only have like 2 to 3 shots with it anyway. I hope they don't adjust the Vulcans. Banshee's melee kit outside of NTD is pretty like standard with the beam saber and like terrible with the unawakened or unopened armed armor. You pretty much have to be on top of somebody to hit him with anything. And like NTD is fine.
So if you go to the JP one, it translates to, we are planning to adjust the units and weapons. Whereas if you go to the English one, it's the units, the weapons.
Oh, okay. So I can see you saying the same thing, but maybe just got flubbed over a little bit. So
it I don't know. I feel like their NTD is going to get hit somehow. I don't know if it's the Saikamu Jack part or what.
I think doing something about that part would be the most important thing to make some of the other suits playable. You may actually see the Kshatriya come back out to play if it could actually use its funnel weapons.
Honestly, I haven't had much of an issue not using them. The biggest problem for me is honestly, both suits are really good, and they're like half the size of the new and the Suzabi. Like that's the thing. If I use my like wall of lines at somebody that's in a Suzabi, like they're taking at least 2,000 damage if they're going to try to move. If it's a unicorn, they could just literally go through the middle and not care, or like maybe just quickly dash out of it, and because they're not big enough to get hit by 2 of them once and then 2 of them again, they're only taking maybe 1,000, 2,000 tops. Whereas like a Suzabi
20% damage reduction.
Yeah, and then like especially in Awakened, it's insane. And then a Suzabi is like, oh no, I'm stuck. They try to dash out of it. And it's like, okay, cool. You just took. If the shield didn't absorb it, it's like 4 to 6k damage, and it's like, lol, So that's why the Kshatriya was so huge then, because again, the enhanced double Zeta, like I could at least, you would chase after me and I would get clapped. But the thing is, I would at least chunk a fourth of your health just by tackling into you and throwing my line of funnels, because you were so chunky that you're going to take at least a fourth of your health and damage. I mean, that's normally better than what I do half the time against raids. So, I'll take that trade. And then also with how good the beam Magnum is with its explosive range and stuff, like there's almost no way to not get stunned by the unicorn. That's another thing too. So it also had some of the best build up at 700. So, but size was my biggest issue for me, because then I'm like, now I got to be ultra precise. My big charge up volley of 10k damage just now is harder to hit. I might get 2 to 4 if I'm lucky. because then the beams flying all over the place. Some of them will miss the unicorn just because it's a lot smaller than a Suzabi. And yeah, so that was another problem. It's just the size change. I'm like, can you make the Kshatriya stuff more accurate?
Right.
But yeah, as far as the Stein though, kind of back to that. I think it's fine though. I think it's like my thing is my take on it really is like I do think it's still weaker than say a Banshee right now, but it does have a kit that makes it solid. By no means is it bad. Whereas I could see a couple of the other 700 raids right now feeling some pain because they don't really have much of a way to fight back against unicorns.
Yeah, I think if we can get the supports back out to play, people will appreciate the Stein a little bit more.
And that's another thing. Like I will say, even in the Kshatriya, I was taking some chunks from that beam rifle. That beam rifle has 1,500 base damage.
Yeah,
which is
it's
pretty
crazy.
Big. So, and it has good health too, 23,000. It's not bad.
I mean, 2-shot stun pretty much all of the supports that cost.
Yeah, it's not a bad suit. It's got good stats all the way down the board. It's just it doesn't have like 2 melee weapon combo stuff. It just relies more on the range side of things, which personally is more my playstyle. But at the
when
same
you get
time,
to half health, though, you do get a melee boost. So
yeah, that is insane. That melee boost is actually disgusting.
Yeah, because its offensive stats are the same as the Banshees pre-NTD. And then whenever its mode activates, wherever your increase is that. But I'm pretty sure it keeps its range stat. So you become pretty decent above range and melee. It's pretty nice.
Also with the touchpad thing, I will say this is the raid that pretty much just says, I win this 1v1. If you're in a 1v1 situation and you still have your purge, like you just win that fight. Like that is one gross thing about it. So I do like the purge thing. I really like the purge mechanic. I want to see that come to more stuff.
Magnum, you're for the purge. Is that what that mask you had on earlier was for?
Oh god.
Oh no. But yeah, anything else with the Stein?
I sure wish I had one to mess with, but no.
The ZA stands for Zoltan Akanen or whatever his name is. Anybody? I was curious.
Yeah, that's
a dude from Narrative.
Yeah, I mean that's something else with the purge too. It'd be kind of cool if we saw that on other suits that had the tanks. But I think because it's an ace suit and it's something that they specifically do, I think in the movie, like it's probably just going to be to that suit and that's it, which is a little unfortunate, but that's still cool.
I mean, it gives me hope for the full armor unicorn.
That's true. When it drops its kit and becomes a raid.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'm a support main, and the next thing I play is raid, so this works. This is a full armor unicorn in my suit. Let's go.
It starts as a support, becomes a raid.
I mean, hey, isn't that what's happening right now? You've been playing the Delta, and you've been being the support, and I've been playing the raid suits for some reason.
I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I was playing a Delta Chi or a Delta Plus.
But yeah, anything else with the Stein and I guess we can go into balance stuff, I guess, or Halloween, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, I will say though, I know we're gonna get a new suit speculation, but I mean this is straight up narrative. What do you think the chances are of narrative or Phoenix?
Suit? Narrative seems like it should be pretty soon.
Yeah, I can see it.
Phoenix is probably never gonna happen.
I would guess Christmas.
I'm kind of worried the kit might be too bare for the
like.
Phoenix.
There's literally just a ghost Gundam, like legendary Pokemon kind of thing. So I don't think that's gonna have its own thing.
That's why I'm saying full armor unicorn for the support, and hoping the purge mechanic is.
And that being said, the the narrative does have a couple packs that it can go through too. So because it has its own C packs, that has its own like cycle frame on top of the other stuff within comms and whatnot. So we'll see how many variants of that we get.
Okay.
Yeah, could be a bunch of stuff. They'll dust off they'll dust off and res up that old model from like the event, like, oh, we're using it now, boys.
So the elephant or the 10 elephants not in the base that we get to go look. First thing I want to bring up. Why no scavenger hunt? Where did the camera go? Where's the scavenger hunt? I want it. Anyway.
No GOG searching for you. Just play the video game.
I'm sad,
Play
man.
the game,
I missed
At least they did let you get the older rewards, especially since there's a lot of people that never really got a chance to get them. So I can appreciate that.
It would have been nice if they had re-rolled the old event at the very least for like the GOG and whatever.
I mean, that was the biggest sad thing for me, is just not doing that. Like I was kind of excited for having a scavenger hunt, community talk. How's it going? Let's go. Who's found them all? Don't tell me yet. You know, like that kind of thing. It's so
Streamer
cool.
things.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
where's my content, bro?
Even without the content thing, like even just the community thing, hopping in a Discord, being like, "Sup, guys? Let's do something." Like, I don't know. I think there were still groups doing that even outside of the streamer circles.
I mean, there is, just because people want to cheat and know where they are. So
yeah,
and then of course, the people that
YouTube video.
Yeah, I was gonna say that people, oh, check out this video if you want to know where they are. I'm gonna make one real quick, and it's just people racing to do that. So I could give a shit, to be honest. But yeah, maybe they'll do something next year. We also do have Christmas coming up.
But where did the camera go, though? That's the other question.
Well, it wasn't being used outside of the event, so they just got rid of it.
I know Emblem mentioned it like a month or two ago. I remember you mentioned that.
I thought I still had it, but just nobody's using it, so you can't activate it at all anymore.
I want to say you said, where did the camera go, when you were in my Discord once.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh well.
Did you just Did you just mind trap yourself? Like, are you gonna check now?
Yeah, it's been a minute. I don't recall. Maybe they did. If you're Gustav, are you in the base camp?
No, I'm in a match.
No, it's gone. It's actually gone.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like I tried it. I'm like, right before the update, I'm like, yep.
That's what we asked you, if you tried it or not.
Oh yes, I did. Yeah, it just doesn't. Nothing happens.
In that case, it's oh well. Cut content. You hate to see it.
Wah.
Like, here, I can go ahead and I can pull it up real quick. But yeah, other than that though, 25% on boxes. The guaranteed suit current supply drop. What in the world? But yeah, there we go. I'm hitting the button. Nothing's happening.
Well, I have a big brain.
No camera.
It'd have been nice, which I don't know if it has a value, but for the guaranteed suit banner that they did, it'd have been nice if it also filtered suits that you already owned.
Yeah, if it was like
unobtainable to get Stein.
I got a level 4 gun tank today. So
nice.
Yeah, sadly it is the whole current thing, and I wonder if there's any, weights, like they added extra weight to like 1 and 2 stars.
Like I said, level 4
percentages. It's 0.5% for 4 stars as usual. I think it's the normal spread. I can't remember, but there's almost as many 3 stars as there are 2 stars. There's like a difference of like 5.
Yeah, the saturation difference at this point isn't really that big.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, but I'm pretty sure the drop rates are about the same. and they can't lie about that stuff, or at least they're not supposed to. So that should probably be fine.
Yeah, if we sick Europe on them, just in case they do try to.
Europe, go.
There you go.
So yeah, they got all the cosmetics and plus the 2 new ones and the marks and stuff. 25% for the boxes. That's been pretty nice. I've been actually getting my boxes pretty quick. Especially with medals at this point in the month.
Yeah, so 0.5% for 4 stars, 4% for 3s, 28% for 2s, and 67.5% for 1 stars. But there's 15 4 stars, 61 3 stars, 65 2 stars, and 18 1 stars.
Also, on a side note, one thing we did miss, the over-tuning melee armor.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I am kind of curious if, once we get... I mean, we've already got the 2 important ones, beam and melee. I'm just curious if anybody who's been getting these that is actually running level 3 and 4 suits at, at 700, 650, 600 kind of thing, what their performance feels like if they're able to cap out each of those and then get the bonus. Because if you got a 4-star, level 4, you've got 65% defense, and then if you get the multiplicative stacking buffers, depending on what suit it is, that could be pretty big.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine, because part of 2 comes down to, speaking of the parts, the adjustments they made to some of the parts as well. So I wonder if it's so that would make sense, because if it's higher cost, then like none of the native suits are going to be using it, obviously, because just the way it works. But like I said, I guess it come down to seeing if it's worth it alongside or as opposed to the normal parts, right? Do we know what the part slot stuff is for it yet?
I still haven't seen a screenshot for it. If I can find one. Negative. I know the beam one was it was like 2 and 5 or 2 and 4 or something like that. So I'm guessing it's actually not that much.
Yeah, that should be wearable.
So if it's around 5 to 6 parts total, whatever 2 they pick, should be pretty solid. Like they've actually done really well with the overtuned defense parts. And I think that's one of the things that's going to bring some of these level 4s kind of back in line. But again, like now that I think we finally got all of the parts needed, the ones that don't really do anything though are the damage ones, which I thought had a chance to kind of balance things out. But I guess we're going to get the more of the balance in the defense department rather than offense. So I'm assuming it's something close to that. I don't know if anybody's actually got it to let anybody know, but yeah, it's should be something close to that. One notable little feature they added, I guess I'll point this out because I thought that was kind of cool. And shorten the time for in the duel matches, they shortened the time until redispatch. Previously mobile suit was destroyed. Information about the pilot, the function has been modified to get into the battle more quickly. So your suit explodes and you're just back in. There's no, hey, here's your opponent walking around in circles.
Gotcha. Okay, that'd be good because it's making it hard. Like as soon as you lost somebody, your team has like a big disadvantage. Where you just got 2v1.
And then the always on setting for the ally info, which is huge for me because I use my button that toggles that on and off as a push to talk. So I can just always show, and then now I can my push to talk literally is used for nothing at that point. So let's go.
That was interesting. I like never have any problem with that, but I've seen people like I see like Aoshi, for instance, will be playing and he'll turn off his like HUD for his teammates' health and stuff sometimes. But I've never really had that problem. I guess I don't really click the left stick at all, so that was interesting.
I guess I'll go over this too. In the ticket shop, they added the Rigazi level 1 and 2, huge suit, still crazy. The Gigan space type, double Zeta level 2, and then a bunch of parts, which they need to add more, please. But force cooling system level 5, or actually, wait, technically, is the level 5 armors in there? I can't remember now. I always forget. But auxiliary generator level 5, cooling system level 5, and then the level 2 version of the reduced effect, so the NTD stuff can actually be reduced, as well as space frame level 3 is in there. I did get the one to reduce the status effects because it was super cheap. Everything else was like 200, 300 tickets. I was like, maybe not.
Nope.
And then level 1 and 2 Jigen in the DP store, Desert Gogu level 3, Full Armor Yaku Shiki Kai level 1 in the DP store, and Full Armor Gundam Type B level 3. That was pretty much the most part. Apparently the Gogu helicopter thing, or no, GK, no, that's the Crab Goog, right?
Just say Gelgoog helicopter.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's a Zulu. Never mind. Yeah. So the Crib Goog. Okay, the Crib Goog upper right arm would not be displayed when performing certain actions. Okay.
I don't know if I noticed that actually. Like maybe when it was doing certain like swings at different angles. I know the heavy attack's kind of clippy, but like I'm okay with that. If I can nail people, through corners with that heavy swing, then that's good.
That's just a perspective thing, Gustav. You know, like when shows have like a character doing like a cool special attack, and it like does like the almost like frame by frame thing. That's just the receiving in perspective. It's just everything's moving in slow motion, so it looks like.
Okay, so there's some bug with parts as far as display text. Apparently, all the armors level 4 and 5. But yeah. Other than that, though, I guess real quick because the dog aggro is not going away. So, go final thoughts on the Halloween event. What would you like to see anything more? Does it feel like they did less this time? I mean, the guaranteed suit thing personally feels pretty big, but at the same time, it's still 3 tokens.
It is. I kind of wish it wasn't. I kind of wish it wasn't a 3 token thing because literally all mine have been dupes so far, and it's old shit. It's old super level boosted shit. So I really don't care about it. I would have rather that been free if it was just going to be out of the current list anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels like we just had the same chance for stuff. Maybe if you're on a super fresh account, but even then, if you're getting super level boosted stuff, it's probably not going to be things you're going to be able to run consistently, unless you're at a really low rating where nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, if it was like,
and even then, I wouldn't really do that a lot anyway because you're just going to learn the wrong shit. So
I feel like if it was anything that was level boosted in the sense of like anything that actually came out in the past year and a half, levels 1 to 2 was part of that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
it really should have been.
And they just do a week.
More.
And they do a week.
Like if you're gonna make
days.
me pay a daily's worth of tokens to get a shot at that, then make it more specific.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the other thing. It's like because right now I'm trying to build back up for the next 4-star.
Yeah. I could be putting that towards a step up, but I'm trying to do it for this just in case. But why?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the box thing is just kind of a given at this point that they're going to do something with increased box drop rate. So it's like
right.
Yeah, if they didn't, that'd be kind of shitty, especially for an event.
So I feel like they're. Oh, that's one thing we didn't talk about. The Zaku head Zeta.
Yeah, special boy.
Yeah.
The grind is real.
Yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and start talking about that. if you've seen it in the wild at all.
I actually haven't, but that's because a lot of the cost ranges right now haven't really been around it. It's like 500 right now and 700.
Yeah, I'll be ready.
Yeah, no 550s. Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it pops up a bit more. In the beginning, it did, obviously, because they're like, oh, maybe people will grind it day one. And like some people did. Asian got it and then just did it overnight.
Multiplayer. I think it's kind of unfortunate that it loses the biosensor.
I think, is it a head-based thing?
I didn't think it was. Every time I've ever seen anything with the biosensor,
It's been a
it
cockpit thing.
references the cockpit and the chest. So
the only thing I can assume is that maybe without the head, it doesn't have the processing power for it. It just depends on how they actually do that. Because there are other things where it's head-based.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because it's not a mode, so I don't think you can cancel it out by blowing out the head either. So,
right. So I don't know. Like I wasn't expecting
from a video game standpoint, it should still have it.
Yeah, I guess not in this video game.
Nope.
But I wasn't expecting it to be able to fly.
Mm.
Although that would have been cool. You know, who cares about the Zaku head? This is a video game.
It'd be funny if it was a
Zeta.
one-time, transformation, and then you just didn't have your head anymore.
I mean, that would be very Halloween.
Yeah, just make it a dual hand Zeta.
Yeah. I will say though, I'm just glad I didn't do what some people were thinking, which was making the suit bad.
Being confused.
Flavor. Being confused would have been sweet. I was really hoping this would be like a raid Zeta.
Of course.
And have beam attack or beam confused as like a heavy attack or something like that. That'd have been pretty cool. But I know people were like saying, do you think it'll have less range on its weapons or like a limited field of view? I was like, the normal Zaku's don't. Why with this one?
Yeah, I mean it's a third-person game too, so like the only way they could represent that is by making its turn speed slower. But like, why?
Yeah,
because the rest of the performance of the suit, the entire point is that it's a lower cost Zeta that just loses some of its functionality.
It is unfortunate though that they cut the biosensor. There are already suits that have similar effects at 550. I don't really see why we needed to cut it, but oh well. Because the flight mode's pretty much worthless except for like repositioning anyway. So there will definitely be cases where you'll wish you had it, but it's not going to be the end of the world. I mean, you still have flight control, so you can at least boost in the air and stuff like that. But Zeta really pops off with biosensor. But you have a lot of reach. Is there any, I don't think there's anything at this cost that has the reach of the long beam saber.
Things that have similar swing patterns, but yeah, I think reach wise it's one of the better ones.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It seems pretty cool. The stats on the suit from when I looked at it earlier before the podcast match up with the Zeta Gundam. Beam rifle's the same, it just has a different name. Long beam saber's the same, just has a different name. Oh, actually, no, the name's the same. Oh no, it's something, but it loses the Vulcans. The wrist grenades have 10% less stagger value, which I kind of thought was weird. But besides that, it has the same skills. It just doesn't have transform and the other one, biosensor. Yeah. That's kind
the
of
other thing. Wait, does it? It doesn't have biosensors, right?
Correct. Okay. Unfortunately.
And then the I mean, it literally, the only thing it does, it has less range, and melee has more, or is it still less in both?
It's about the stat description or distribution. I didn't really look at that actually.
The stat, I mean, literally though,
stats I think for the most part are pretty similar.
Yeah, it's if you were 50 cost down for most of the stats, which was kind of surprising that it didn't have other stuff for being 50 cost down for everything. The The only thing is, I think its range strength is lower, or its melee was lower. It was the only difference that I picked
Yeah,
up
it favors melee over range.
Yeah, that was about the big difference there on that one. So.
Which that makes sense. With the Zeta Gundam, the biosensor kind of makes up for the difference because it gives you 30.
Yeah.
In this case, you just have a higher range starting out, which I think is fine. But let's say it's probably party 2.
Yeah.
They should have been. They should have just gave it priority 3. It would have been funny.
Yeah,
that would have been actually kind of terrifying. But anything else about Halloween?
The beam saber on the Zaku Zeta has a better multiple hit modifier than the regular Zeta Gundam. You have 60% of your damage on a second swing with the Zaku, where you set a normal 50% on the regular Zeta, which is interesting.
Oh, actually, when I saw somebody using it, it looked like it had the bayonet had 3 swings. Because it has a normal stab for the downswing, doesn't it? Instead of like the smack.
Wait, I'm not sure.
Or does it look like it does a side swing and then does it do like a right then stab, or is it?
It's still 2 hits for the downswing.
It is still okay. Well, maybe it's a side then stab, kind of like the Garibaldi, when they did the FS.
Yeah, be magnified.
Because I was watching something and it looked like somebody just went down and then like it's normal poke and then a side swing, and then I saw them do a normal poke and then side swing big yeet. So I thought somehow that had an extra.
They could have changed its attack pattern up a little bit, but I know the normal Zeta Gundam downswing is the forward lunge into the little like wide side sweep.
Yeah, I know this one does the big yeet
Zaku on attack
for the end. It's just a straight long range stab. So I didn't look to see. Actually, that's what I probably should have paid attention to. If the side swing knocked him down, that would make more sense. But either way, though, it looked like it was a pretty solid downswing. If it was just the yeet, I would probably like it more, just because it's just like, hey, sup, kind of like the poke with that range, just the normal neutral. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's too bad. For a free suit, I'll take it.
Yeah, go unlock it.
It's actually pretty easy to get. I mean, the hardest part is, 12 rival wins? Something like that.
You have to play 30 matches. Ugh, I have to play the game?
Playing the video game, how dare you?
But, okay, so Halloween stuff. Anything else for that? And then we'll kind of look through some of the buffs and nerfs briefly, and then talk about speculation and then wrap up.
Seems good. I'll have to get ready to go do Astro things soon, too, anyway, so that works.
Okay. So, buffs and nerfs. The nerfs coming next time. The buffs. Late model Haimo Zaku. Main thing here, it gained another dodge roll. I'll just kind of hit on the main stuff. Health is pretty big with 1,500. Force Injector 2, I guess, is kind of okay. And a little bit of speed at level 2. And Force Injector 2 is at level 2. Main thing is the dodge roll on that thing. That's actually kind of like the damage. When you look at the numbers, the damage was fine. But yeah, that double dodge roll is going to be insane. Gallus J gaining 1,500 health, now at 19,000. I really didn't think that needed too much. I mean, I know I saw it a lot less with recent added suits, but hey, I'll take it.
I will say, on the Haimo Zaku, I think one more notable is Force Injector, too.
For
the level 2? It does also gain the reaction boost program, too. So that helps it out a little bit.
It's nice that they actually like diversified the two so there has a bit more identity. Like that was the big thing for that adjustment wise.
Balancer and force injector were definitely pretty relevant for the suit.
Wait, did it gain balancer? Oh,
It did, yeah.
it didn't have. Okay, that's huge.
They
I
can
missed that
actually
one.
do regular ass shit. It's for like a slightly boosted version of the other one. They probably should have had that from the start, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a.
They had
This,
it kitted up as some weirdo like range boy.
Mm-hmm.
oh
So-
yeah.
A lot of those early suits they had just weird, like, oh, this is what this is gonna be, and it's like that's not how this game works. Please change that.
Yeah.
But here we
Go,
go.
you go, Magnum.
The shield of the Gan is not a shield, so they changed it to still not be a shield. However,
Yep, that was dumb.
it is a buffer, I guess. So
Mm-hmm.
Was it even 3? I forget what the level for the buffer was.
the buffer goes level
It's
2
level 2, I think.
at 1 and 2, level 3 at level 3, and level 4 at level 4. So it's actually pretty solid at 3 and 4. But at level 2 it's just like 15% or whatever. And it's just like, oof.
Better than the 0 I had before, at the very least.
It did get double dodge roll. That's pretty nice.
With the way they scaled it too, at the very least, like it consistently blocks that much then, but still, it couldn't just been both.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got 1,000 extra health, and then assault booster went up. Sure. the new generic thing to give raids, assault booster level up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're leveling up its iconic skill.
Oh no. But yeah.
It's trademark ability.
I mean, I'm just saying. I was like, Maniac's probably jumping up and down. I bet. But
I think he was trying to
Give it
run it
heavy
early
attack,
on,
you
but no.
cowards.
oh, give it a heavy. What would
Oh
the,
my
The
god.
downswing might as well be, but you
I was
know.
gonna say the downswing's already a heavy attack. So what does a heavy attack on a Gan do, dude? You like kill the entire team.
Making something
jumping-
improve like that dive that it does with the thrust.
Pretty sure you jump into the air and land on side
Yeah.
2 as it's crashing into the earth. Let's blow up the entire map. That sounds pretty good.
The Char Gelgoog did get a buff, which was kind of surprising to see it this soon, but I haven't really seen them after it initially came out, so that's probably why. Stats
Wasn't high enough to be a Char, so they had to make it mo quicker.
Yeah, pretty much. They did up the speed. They did give the increased movement speed for left, right, and back, though. That's always a great quality of life.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty relevant.
And then I can't believe it's getting buffed again, and man, is it fun to play right now. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I've actually been playing a lot of the Zommel.
Yeah. Of course you have. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I haven't seen it at all yet.
So all the short and the medium parts went up by 1 at all levels. The power for everything went up at all levels. So the missiles now chunk. They gained 25 damage, 10-second reload instead of 12. Everything went down.
Times were pretty nice.
Yeah, everything else went down other than the APFS DS cannon from 11.5 to 10 seconds. So everything's just flat 10 seconds now, I believe, across the board for the reload. And every one of the cannons gained 100 damage. All 3 of them gained 100 flat damage at all levels. And then the Vulcans can actually stun in a reasonable amount of Vulcans.
Yeah, I wanted to see what the stagger value is on them now. I'll pull it up really quick.
Yeah, if you could find that, then yeah. But like everything got buffed on this thing. And yeah. It's pretty solid. Like I've been clapping in it with it right now. Like the damage is like the
wow.
AoE damage is actually insane.
Vulcans are up to 6%.
Wow. Okay. That's huge. I knew it was less than 20. But yeah.
Up from 2.
I mean, they were useless. I knew they were completely useless, but now
Yeah.
you can actually like missile somebody and then like, oh, that didn't stun you? Because the missiles are actually pretty high in stagger value. I actually normally get a stagger with those. And do like I was hitting generals for like 600. So, because I've got like overtuned damage and stuff on them. But yeah, I'm very impressed with what it's doing right now. That AOE cannon though, like 1600 base damage with the actual bonus damage, like you just shoot in the middle of generals. If you hit 2 or 3, you just dealt like 6 to 9,000 damage with one shot. And then so the AOE cannon is no joke right now. I kind of want them to do this with gun tanks.
Maybe. It'll be interesting though. I feel like the output is nice, but is almost going to get its lunch eaten, except for like maybe on its one map. I think it's only really seeing play on Impact site. Maybe people are running it on trenches, maybe because it's so open or whatever.
Yeah, I can see trenches is doing pretty well.
But I don't know. I think supports are pretty easy to fight on trenches. Ignoring the parts when like 2v1s happen, but most of the cost I play, raids have a decently long range option to punish the support that's on open high ground. So,
yeah, I will say I try to peek the cannon over and shoot is how I do it right now, since the trenches aren't really that deep. I'm like, I can just kind of sit, right here, perfect, and just a cannon sticking up pretty much. That is the best part about that thing, especially on impact site too. You can just stick it over the buildings and just keep lobbing shots. But yeah, Zommel's pretty fun. I'd say at least try it. If you're a support main, it's been a lot of fun. The damage is definitely up there.
If you're a raid main, I definitely say try it. It's delicious.
Oof. Yeah, for sure. Try to give it a shot at lower cost. You're definitely still not going to see it at high.
Yeah, don't play the level 5 version.
Yeah, maybe level 4 is where the stopping point is for that one. Level 5 did feel pretty bad still because the Stein was
I fought a Zommel once as the Banshee. It was a good day.
Yeah, I ran into a Stein and a Banshee, and I was just like, nope, get me out of here. But yeah, Gun Cannon 2, we've complained about it too, just like the GAN, and finally they buffed it way more than they did the GAN. I'm actually, I'm slightly happy that support's got something more in this than the raids as far as that goes, the equivalent cost range. But like the patch notes wouldn't tell you that. I didn't know that till I actually got in the game and tried it, because frontline support system was added, high performance radar level 3. That's the support equivalent of assault booster, and changed the firing method to both available and focused and unfocused, or as focused and unfocused for the beam cannon. And the thing is, it has ASL and actual stun potential with it, which is insane.
Which the ASL is for the uncharged shot.
Yeah, the uncharged shot only. So yeah, but
which should have been day 1 for the suit, to be honest.
Right. And now anybody who's been playing that just has an extra tool to do damage and get some stuns with, and it's I will say those stats that are up there that it already had, not bad. Someone's been carrying that suit pretty hard. Except for, even in Suits Lost. And that's probably just because everybody just didn't care about it and left it alone. Because it's like amount of suits lost, 2.7 is the average, and it's 2.2. So I don't know if that was just the people who are used to jumping around with it, because it was the original like jump around support on port base, but yeah. Then the assault gun tank finally got touched. 1,000 health, thrusters up by 5.
I am interested in seeing some more of it at that and its general cost, though.
Right? Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Then the smoothbore cannon got 1 second cooldown. I wish they did a little bit more than that. I would like to fire that a little bit more, considering the shots. Multi rockets, they got stagger value. It's possible to stagger somebody now. It's 4 rockets instead of like 8 with what it was before.
Mm-hmm.
And the damage went up by 50, but you still got to stand still. They're pretty slow, and like the only way you're really using them is if you see your teammate engaging somebody, you're going to try to get a cheeky stun build up kind of thing, or the person definitely doesn't notice you, and you're going to also get a cheeky stun build up because they're shooting with a machine gun teammate or something. And then the flamethrower, though, here's the big one. Increased damage from incendiary effect. It also has a good area to its explosion when you fire it. The flamethrower is pretty nice right now, actually. And then the depth charge having a 10-second cooldown. Careful not to heavy stun yourself or all of your team.
Flamethrower damage is increased by 50 per tick. It's up to 200 now from 150.
Yeah, that's pretty nice at 400 cost. That's not bad. Easy to spread around to multiple people.
Rocket stagger value went up from 15 to 25.
Yeah, that was huge. Because I thought it took all 8, but I wasn't sure. Then we have the Gyaradoga Heavy Arms. Gaining special add-on buffer for the back, level 3, so that should be 30%. Reload time for the HE went down by 5 seconds to 25 seconds. Bruno gun, the main cannon one, increased the AoE one, the cluster. Stagger accumulation went up. What is that on that one? That's one thing I was curious about, because that was already really high. And then they reduced the rigidity time.
What's the base cost on it again?
550.
Okay.
We already touched on the parts, so we won't worry about those. It is nice to see them touch on those. Hope they do more.
Okay, there we go. It wasn't translating. And what was the weapon's name again?
The cluster.
The cluster bomb. Okay. Shrapnel. It must be this one. 80%.
Well, that's huge. Okay. Because I think it was 50 before.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Majestic Cannon also got a buff. Its shoulder beam cannon got a buff for stagger value. Oh, it was 60. Okay. And pretty much a lot of its stuff got more power. So definitely something to check out and try. I've been seeing a lot of Majestic Cannons now after this change. But anyway, go ahead and do a little new suit speculation and go ahead and wrap up because time things.
Yes.
And also, I guess, what do you think is coming in Christmas is the main thing. We'll worry about events and stuff later.
It's a good point, because, like, we just got the Sinanji Stein. I'm assuming they're going to try to push more narrative. If they actually legitimately try to make some sort of, like, comprehensive suit for the Fenix, it probably will come at holiday time. But more than likely, it's just going to be the narrative Gundam itself. I don't know if there's any other variants, but we also need to get the Rosen Zulu at some point too.
That's what I'm hoping for too.
Those are the bigger ones right now for them to be targeting, especially for like big banners. We're probably just gonna get a bunch of little kit bash shit fuckery for the ones in between.
Right.
They're as cool as Zogelgoog or whatever.
Creep
you know, Zogogoog. I'd be okay with that. This should look straight up like some kit bashing.
I want those red gym team from Kizuna 2 that they've been showing off as MS Team 3 or whatever. Like, they have some pretty cool variants in there.
They should put in the Gather Road jam.
Yep. Oh my god, Gather Road with the akimbo beams.
Let's go.
Guns. Let's go.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That should have been an obvious. That should have been an obvious crossover tie-in, right? Gather
Yeah.
Gym limited suit for the release of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
maybe
now,
if you
because like
bought
I
it.
guess you could consider it to be a bit of a spoiler for like the way it works, but like now it's just like they might as well. Yeah, even a buy-in, and then they just make like a token pack later on.
Mm-hmm. Something along those lines would have been pretty cool. But I am of the opinion that we could see some form of narrative Gundam for Christmas, if not some new unicorns. I think full armor is due, unless it's going to be a general, which we'll have to see. I could see that happening.
Christmas normally is a general, so my theory, my tinfoil hat going on in my prediction is that we're going to get, because we need a support now. I thought that we would get a support instead of a raid this time, but this was a raid.
No.
And so next 4-star, I'm going to say is at the end of November is my guess. And then we'll have, at Christmas, we'll have the, probably the narrative or a general of some sort, whatever that may be. So either we're going to get, what I would like to see, the Rosen Zulu as a support, the full armor double Zeta, I think would, like an actual like kind of thing would be kind of like enhanced double Zeta equivalent would be a good support. What's the other one? The full armor unicorn, and if we are going to go full narrative, a Phoenix drop for a support would be kind of interesting. But I also agree with Gustav with it being kind of like a legendary Pokemon kind of type thing. So
yeah, you can catch the legendaries of Pokemon. Let's go, GBO2.
But and then also the narrative being kind of simple, but I'm curious to see if it does anything different, or if they just go with kind of what SD Gundam did with it.
Mm. Oh, with a splash of AOZ, I could see us getting some more AOZ.
I mean,
kinda...
when I was talking about Kid Badge fuckery, it's mostly going to be AOC suits, different variants that we already get.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have plenty of those to go.
But
that suit doesn't have no shield boosters.
This one needs a whole rifle and it needs to be like another suit, but slightly lower cost. Yay!
Yeah.
See, Zaku had Zetas right at home in this case.
Right. But any other guesses?
That's all for me.
Okay, then do we want to do some shoutouts? Yeah.
Okie dokie. Gustav the 13th, Gustav _X on most social media. Currently doing some Cyberpunk 2077 modded as well as our usual GBO2 stuff. Also trying to get in there for Champions of the Continent a little bit more to try to get through some of the main content. Outside of that, just trying to keep up with my other social media like TikTok and all that good stuff. Hopefully we'll be getting some more emotes soon over on the Twitch end, although we are also doing more streams on both sides. So hopefully we'll see you around. And also, I guess as depending on when this drops, early or belated Halloween, depending on when you actually see this, since it is around spooky season.
As for me, I am GamingEmblem currently here as Gaming Who for Halloween Downtime and a Hangar special. Play video games on the internet. Kind of made a couple of references during the podcast itself about content, whether it be Gundam Eternal or Battle Operation 2 with the Stein preview video and stuff like that. You can check it out there. Look at the YouTube as well as our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GamingEmblem, and youtube.com GamingEmblem. Not really. That it's like numbers and letters and stuff, but you can search for Emblem. Got a bunch of different things there. Got to play some more Gundam. Starshin Divine Force came out like a couple of days ago. I need to get on that. And also, whenever Elysium drops, among other things, got a few different games to play. And like, my goodness, whenever that Saga game that they're going to be dropping comes out, gotta play that too. Like,
many games coming.
Too many games.
Video games, internet, fun, Gaming Emblem. Wow, check it out.
And then, as usual, everybody's links and stuff will be down in the description below. But I'm EG Magnum. I am very busy right now, but do have a YouTube channel, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and TikTok that I need to get back on doing stuff. Again, busy, but yes, I've got a whole list. I've got a whole notepad full of stuff to do, emotes included and stuff like that. But yeah. Game-wise, though, gonna be playing some GBO2, probably some Evo right after this. Still doing Evo and GBO2 for sure. Been getting some League of Legends things, and also kind of got roped into downloading at least RuneScape, the Rune Light thing. So I might be doing
that's
that.
An interesting one.
I might be doing some Iron Man here in the future. But also other games, too many games. Tarkov in the next couple of days because they do a Halloween event. So that's probably going to be Monday or Sunday night, whenever it looks like they're going to actually drop that thing. I might stay up till 4 a.m. or whatever it is when lightning strikes at night, and then everything turns to day for a second, and then all occultists break loose all over the place, or whatever happens with that. But yeah, super people might be a thing again. Tried that at one point. Might do some more of that. Feels like PUBG 2.0 kind of thing. But yeah, also too many games, pretty much. There's a couple of RPGs that dropped that I want to go back and check out. One that I am forgetting the name of right now. Oh wait, Valkyrie Profile. That's that. I wanted to go back and check that out.
That was fun.
But and also Undecember is an ARPG I'm gonna try to maybe check out for a little bit, but I heard way too much pay to win, so I got skittish and ran away. But yeah, guys. But stuff and things. But that'll be it for this one, though, guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought about this episode and everything we talked about. But anyway, that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.
Later.
Bye, my face. Bye.
Bye.